Morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's Compliance Over Coffee. Apologies for missing last week. As some of you will know, my mum was rushed into hospital on the Monday and another close relative went into hospital at the same time. We had our niece's wedding on the Friday, and to cap it all, on Monday this week, I was walking along, not watching what I was doing. My right foot slipped off the edge of the pavement onto the road. I jarred my back. And within 4 or 5 hours, I couldn't move. I had sciatica, apparently. So it's been one of those weeks, everyone. But we're here and we're okay. And it's getting better. And Mum and my other relative are out of hospital. And everything looks as if the world is back to normal the way that it should be. So that's a good thing. So this morning, I wanted to talk to you about the way that you source, the process that you choose to source through, and how that will affect your due diligence. And some of you are saying, well, sourcing is a process. What do you mean? Two different processes, Tina. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, for me, there are two ways to source. One is when you find the deal first and then find an investor to buy it. And the second one is when you already have the investor on board and then you find a deal that fits their criteria. So those are the two different types of sourcing processes, as I call them. If you can think of a third one, please let me know. I can't, but I'd be really interested if you can. And the thing being is that HMRC, who run AML supervision, keep updating their guidance for estate agents, high street estate agents, which is the only thing that we have to use and get a glimmer of to what will be expected of us, and tweaking their thoughts on certain points. And even if you guys are completely up to date 1 minute with what's happening and you know exactly what you're doing, if they update and you don't know about it, you're suddenly out of date and you're out of touch and you're potentially in breach of those money laundering regulations with how you operate. And one of the things that is taken incredibly seriously by HMRC is what they call timing of verification. And what does timing of verification mean in a source's day-to-day working environment? It means the time when you actually carry out the checks and due diligence on your client. And dependent on how you source, we said there were two different ways. The timing of verification could be slightly different. It depends on how you view the regulations and HMRC's interpretation. Now, HMRC say that you should be carrying out due diligence on your client at the earliest point in your business relationship. What on earth does that mean? Well, the clarity that they've given us is that means there doesn't have to be a contract in place. So just because you find a deal first and then find an investor and you don't have a contract in place doesn't mean you haven't got to do due diligence. And if you want to work with your investor first, but you don't put a contract in place because you believe without one they're not your contracted client and therefore you don't have to do the due diligence at that point in time, that won't work either. So you've got to be very, very aware as to how you're sourcing business, how you set it up and how it operates, and have a think about how and when you bring on board your buyers, how do you do it? And be honest with yourself in your head as to when you believe a business relationship is formed. Now, if you were the investor working with a sourcer and the sourcer came to you and said, I can find you properties, what is it that you're looking for? And you told them the description of what you wanted, sort of a 2 or 3 bedroom terraced house in this geographical area between this price range. I don't want any heavy work to do, maybe a light refurbishment-ish, something like that. And I want 3 of them in the next 12 months. And they say, okay, we'll go off and look for it. Do you think that's a business relationship formed? I do. And I believe that HMRC will do as well. So for you sourcing agents that are operating like that, but not onboarding your clients I believe that you're in breach of what HMRC call timing of verification, and they are issuing fines for it at this moment in time, along with a lot of other stuff as well. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of, I know that you source in different ways, one of two ways usually in the main, either deal first and then buyer, or bring the buyer on board and then source to order as we do, that you really need to sit down and think about your onboarding process, if you've got one, and you really must have one, and when you're going to do that due diligence. Understand it and implement it, and have a written process in place as to how and when you do it. Not just have it written though, but follow it with every client. So that's this morning's Compliance Over Coffee. I hope that you found it useful. I will be back again next Thursday with another topic. If you've got a topic that you'd like me to cover, bob your thoughts in the comment boxes underneath this video, and I will be happy to tag it into my timeline for more Compliance Over Coffee. In the meantime, have a fantastic weekend. I hope it sunshines where you are. Stay safe, be good, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.